Welcome back to week 15 of the Fantasy Football Formula. This is our spread pick show where we go through and give you our 5 favorite picks, including our locks of the week. We're coming off, I would say like a 50-50 week. It's like, it was really strong. And then we had, Alex, great week. Alex had the best week. I had a pretty solid week, but oh man, Corey and Nick, that was your guys' both worst weeks this year in the same week.
Yeah, that was tough.
It's especially tough. People are probably wondering why I wasn't on the podcast last week. I had to pawn off my computer and my microphone in order to win it all back last week, and here we are, went 0 for 5.
1 for 6.
Yeah.
So hopefully Santa brings me a couple good picks here this week.
That's what I get for, toot my own horn last week and asking if you guys were going to catch me. That's what I get.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
get. And then you were the mouse that took the Vikings versus Lions.
Took the cheese, dude.
You took the cheese.
I did.
So let's see if you're going to take the cheese this week on any games.
It was a humbling week.
We'll start out Thursday night football. Tonight, I think we're going to upload this tonight, so the game will probably be over by then. But we'll start with you, Nick. Looks like you got a pick in this game. 49ers going into Seahawks, spreads 3.5. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm due for a good pick here. So my rationale, as in typical fashion, I'm going to, prop up the opposite side here. Hats off to Shanahan, he's fielded maybe one of the best defenses I've seen in a long time. I mean, they are relentless. We've seen them shut down the best of the offenses in the NFL, Dolphins, you name it. So it's a little scary to bet against that. But I believe in Geno Smith and DK Metcalf, who is my favorite receiver of all time since Randy Moss.
Wow.
I love his size, athletic ability. Yeah. I mean, Justin Jefferson can be in the conversation too, but DK is definitely one of my favorite players to watch. Kind of reminds me of Megatron. So, I'm going to take the Seahawks plus 3.5. I think they're going to get it done through the air. Big Tyler Lockett and DK game. Not too high on an injured Kenneth Walker, but I don't know. I think the Seahawks have a pretty great record. I think it was like 12-1 home against Seattle in the past 12 meetings. So, PB is going to yell at me and say regression to the mean here, but I'm going to go with Pete Carroll having Shanahan's number. So a little primetime game. Let's go Hawks.
No, my lock of the week is the Seahawks plus 3.5.
Nice.
Yeah. And, I'll sprinkle it in on the money line because I actually do think they'll win this game, but I will just take 3.5 here. 49ers have Brock Purdy now as their quarterback. He's come in, filled in for Jimmy G nicely. Don't really need the strongest quarterback to run that Shanahan offense. But on a short week going into Seattle, who has kind of shocked everyone. Geno's shocked everyone. He's coming off of a down week. So you got Purdy beating Tom Brady, coming off of that big week, short week, going into Seattle. Really bad spot for the 49ers here. They do allow a lot of production through the air to receivers. I think Lockett in particular is going to have a great game here in the slot. That's where the 49ers are the weakest. And I think the Seattle Seahawks come out with a win.
Yeah, that's kind of why the Brock Purdy note you made there is why I was leaning towards the Seahawks. He's beat up, a short week, Yeah, it's just kind of a letdown.
No Debo.
I didn't even mention that. No Debo. However, the 49ers, if you were to tell me, if this is on a neutral field, normal week to week, Purdy's still a quarterback, I would take the 49ers. This is just a bad spot, I think, for the Niners. I think McCaffrey could have a great game.
If you watch that game, he was that one touchdown to Ayuk was 2 yards behind him. If that cornerback's anywhere where he should be, that's an interception. So
He
I
did
think
get
like
rocked on that throw too, though.
yeah, but I think like like people are like he's done pretty well, but like I don't
It's a
know.
tough environment.
Good
I
job.
mean, first road start in
Yes.
Seattle in a divisional game where basically the Seahawks are like, it's a playoff game for the Seahawks, essentially.
Yeah.
If they lose this, they lose the
Yeah.
division and probably their chance at the playoffs. So, yeah.
Love the Seahawks in this spot. All right, next game we got the Saturday slate this week, which we will also be breaking down DFS wise. But we'll start here. We got the Ravens going to play the Browns. Alex, you're the only one with a pick in this game. Spreads 2.5 in favor of the Browns. What do you got?
My lock of the week, Ravens Browns under 38.5. Give me the gross games. Give me the low totals and the under again. No Lamar, no Kenny Pickett, probably a hobbled Tyler Huntley.
Kenny Pickett.
Pickett.
Is Pickett playing?
No, you're Pickett's
This is
on
the
both
Browns.
those players.
Browns.
Deshaun Watson.
All right.
You
Reverse,
feeling all right?
reverse, reverse, reverse. My lock of the week is Ravens Browns under 38.5. No Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson definitely hasn't found his groove yet. 400 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in those 2 games he started. Hasn't looked great.
A lot of
Ravens-
turnover.
A lot of turnovers. Ravens defense is keeping them in games. And with Tyler Huntley on the ball, I don't see a ton of points coming from either side here. I think that the Browns, who have had a little bit of trouble in the run game, are just going to stack the box because they're not going to have to worry about a ton of threats on the outside from the Ravens. Most of their receiving production is done with Mark Andrews over the middle. So Ravens Browns under, and also I believe the forecast is called for a pretty windy day. So I know it's a low total, but took a low total in the Ravens Broncos a couple of weeks ago, and that they scored about 15 points that game. So I'm gonna do it again here. Ravens Browns under 38.5.
Yeah.
All right.
Windy Day
Windy-
takes out Justin Tucker, who's the Ravens' best offense right now. So
Legit.
I like that pick.
Yeah, we do got. It looks like there's could be a really windy game there. With
Kenny Pickett. I'm
always-
such an idiot.
Helps nothing.
You're not wrong, just wrong game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They played.
All right.
Okay, Ravens Steelers was last week though, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like totally
Yeah,
losing
that-
my mind.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Moving on.
Next, we got the Dolphins going to play the Bills. I think the spread's now at -7. I think with the snow that's expected to come, it started out I think at -9. But anytime you have like a really big weather game with the snow, that those spreads become a little bit tighter. So we'll go to Nick here. It looks like you're doing a little teaser action with an earlier game.
Yeah, I've learned from the best on this show. This is really the first year that I'm betting teaser. So hats off to you guys finding a little bit of success there and showing me that betting avenue. Going with an interesting strategy on this one. Going to go Dolphins tease it up. We typically like to go through the 3 and 7 numbers here, but I think given the conditions for this game, having 13 points on the side of the Dolphins, who we saw beat the Bills earlier in the year, seems like a really safe pick to me. I don't think the Bills are, necessarily in a good groove like we saw at the beginning of the year. We saw ever since Josh Allen's elbow injury, like they've definitely slowed down, committed more to the run game and kind of a split backfield there. And I love James Cook. I think he's a great rookie and he's provided some value for that offense, but it's not the same as your Josh Allen 400-yard games. So taking a few extra points here with that. And I'm also throwing in a teaser with the Seahawks, who was my previous pick here. And I also don't think that Brock Purdy has the firepower to, cover 9.5 points. That's kind of ridiculous in a primetime game on a Thursday. So I'm actually going to bet 5 units on this one. For me is, kind of going all in. So
Big
Wow,
plays.
5
Big
units
plays only.
5 units from Nick.
That means $25 if you don't know.
No unit shaming here, huh?
There's absolutely no
unit
unit
shaming. We're all on
shaming.
different levels here. I'm just
Absolutely.
putting $1,000 on it.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a pick in this one too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't know if you had. Okay, yeah, it looks like you got a pick here too.
Yeah. Yep. Doing it again. Giving me another under here. It's 43.5. Did you guys see this? The Dolphins used heaters on the sideline of their game in LA when it was like 50 or 55 degrees.
Yeah.
Wow.
So couple that with possible snow in Buffalo with those candy ass uniforms. I do not see the Dolphins scoring a ton of points here. They don't fit in cold weather. They just don't. And teams have definitely been adjusting to Tua. They've been covering the middle quite a bit more for those crossing routes and those slants that Tyreek and Waddle just destroy teams on earlier in the year. So he's been having to throw outside a lot more. He's been struggling with that a little bit more. You saw that in the Chargers game.
So bad.
Yeah.
It's like 3 for 21 going to halftime.
Not good. Not good.
Was
And
that
they
the
took
game
away the middle.
Armstead? Was that the game Armstead was out? It might have been.
It was last week. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, getting him
I don't know
back is
if
going to
he's
help.
back. Is he back? I don't know if he's going to be back.
I'm not sure either. But either
regardless.
way, with the weather and these two teams, the Bills have gone, I'm pretty sure it's 10-3 to the under this season as well. Their defense is locking up. Their offense, obviously, we know what they got, but they've been kind of slowing down a little and not pushing it. And you're not seeing these like 70-yard bombs from Josh Allen quite as much. I think they're holding back some plays for the playoffs. So yeah, in another snowy Buffalo Saturday, give me the under 43.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at players total on yards, and I'm gonna start taking unders and parlay that.
Yeah.
Especially if the weather's supposed to be bad as it is.
Yeah.
If
One
it's
thing
like-
to keep an eye on too is like leading into this game. This is obviously the night game, so we probably have a 7:00 Central start. If there is a bunch of snow that day, keep an eye on the total getting completely like jammed way down. And then right before the game starts, hop potentially on the over if it gets to a point total that you like. A lot of times you see the market overreact and take that all the way down just entirely too much. But right now at 43.5, I'm still comfortable taking that.
All right. Like it. Moving on to the Sunday games. We got the Saints. I got a pick in this game. They were on bye, so after a brutal loss to the Bucks, but I did take the spread there. That was a given. They covered against the Bucks. Now they get the Falcons, who are starting Desmond Ridder in his first career start in this stadium. This is going to be an ugly game for the Falcons. This week, it's not confirmed yet, but I do believe Lattimore could be finally returning. He didn't even play against the Bucks, and obviously you saw the defense can still give teams trouble. And Ridder in the preseason was one of the most turnover worthy like plays of all the quarterbacks in the preseason. The Saints defense, I love actually. So you get -4. Sprinkle some on Saints defensive touchdown, because I do think the Saints scored a defensive touchdown in this game. Love the Saints -4 here at home, coming off of a bye in Ridder's first start.
Do you think
Who are you rolling
obviously-
out at QB?
We're going back to,
No,
so
you're
yeah, this isn't a play, like I still hate Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton at this point, I still would say is better than Desmond Ridder. And this isn't a Dalton play. This is a Saints defense against Desmond Ridder play.
Do you think the Falcons take that much of a step backward with Ridder instead of Mariota?
They probably throw the ball more.
They're
That's
going
what
to
I'm
try to,
thinking
yeah,
too,
they'll try to throw the ball more down. Like Ridder has a much better arm than Mariota. And
Yeah.
so, they might, but they just like all they have is London. And if Lattimore's back, I mean, who they're throwing to Olamide Zacchaeus, and I forget the other guy. It's like nobody. They have legit nobody.
Yeah. I guess their only saving graces, and something we should all recognize, is that Cincinnati football team from last year had a lot of great talent. Desmond Ritter led that team to obviously pretty far into a
College football
playoff spot.
playoff.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
the guy's a winner. You know he's gonna give it his all out there.
This is the
But
NFL.
a lot of people just kind of count out this, small town Cincy team. We got a lot of great players in the NFL because of that team. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Sure, Desmond Ritter could evolve into a good quarterback, whatever. I don't think so. I don't think he'll be any
Yeah.
ever good in the NFL. But this is his first career start. He's going to get schwacked by the Saints defense here. I'm telling you that right now.
How many times have you
Yeah.
said that there's gonna be a defensive touchdown? Has that hit yet? I feel like you mentioned
No,
that
no,
every
I've
time.
mentioned it one other time, and it did not hit. And it's like plus 500 usually or something like that. It needs to
Yeah, it's
hit
worth a
one out of
sprinkle.
needs to hit one out of every 4 times to be profitable, 5 times to break even. Like this is the game to take it against the Desmond Ritter in his first start.
Okay.
So next we got the Lions going to play the Jets. The Lions aren't out of the playoffs just yet. They're on a massive winning streak here. The Jets, they're playing for a playoff spot here. It's going to come down to like them or the Chargers really for that last, the Chargers or the Patriots for that last spot in the AFC. And it looks like the Jets are favored by a point here in this game at home. Looks like Corey, haven't heard from you yet.
No,
Well,
yeah, no, I've been kind of quiet over here.
Yeah. So let's start talking here.
Oh, I'm going to start talking. Yeah, my favorite thing to do is attack the Jets, especially in low totals like this. Mike White is their quarterback, and he was taken to the hospital after the game last Sunday.
Dude, he got launched.
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh my god!
The
Hold it.
definition of lawn chair was Mike.
Oh.
Put his picture next to that. So
how did that not get a roughing the passer out of like all the hits this
It
year?
was a perfect tackle.
Yeah,
I know,
Literally
but like,
perfect tackle.
it's literally what they
Right,
teach.
but like compared to like the one that Herbert got on Sunday night,
Yeah.
where the guy like
NFL's got to clean that up.
gave him a little like forehead bump.
Yeah, it's it's not good over there in the Big Apple with the Jets. They keep falling. They keep games close, but especially in a game like this where the spread's not more than 3 points, it's 1. I lean the Lions here, but I'm actually going to take the under. I'm going to take the under of what is it? The 42 or 44.5.
Yeah.
I think Jared Goff comes a little bit down to earth here. And I don't think Mike White, well, first of all, he's not even fully healthy. Second of all, if he gets hurt and, has to come out of the game, Zach is elevated. So, I mean, he's a terrible quarterback too. So I like the under here of 44.5. I hope the Lions probably win because I don't think the Jets are a good team and I don't think they should be in the playoffs. They'll just take away from us viewers if our teams aren't in there, the Jets are taking that last playoff spot. So give me the Lions here, give me the under 44.5. I lean Lions to win this game.
I like that.
Well,
Goff always struggles too outdoors.
Yeah.
it's a good thing that you took the under instead of the Lions there because your losing streak might have continued. But I'm on the Jets -1 in this spot.
+1.
There's no they're plus. They're not plus. What?
Yeah.
Yep, at home. I mean, you can take a -1 if you want to get a little more.
Well, then just take the money line. If they're actually
Yeah.
plus odds, just take the money line.
It's like
Last I checked,
-118 money or +1 and then like -110 money line. So like if you're betting
on
large
DraftKings,
units
it's moved to -1.5 already.
to
in
the
favor.
Jets.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So maybe there was some line movement. Either way, Jets. I mean, it's close enough to where you can just take the money line and just say Jets win. So I'm like Goff.
Oh, you're right.
Can-
It has flipped.
Goff can excel against bad defenses. Like they have a very good offense. But we've seen him, like, when he gets pressured, he completely crumbles. And the Jets can generate pressure. I know they have a good Lions have a good offensive line, but the Jets, their offense, like, it's not very good. It's below average. But that defense, I mean, it is so good. And the Jets this is a big game for them. And I think they come out. I don't necessarily have a tough schedule rest of the year. I do think the Chargers end up taking that last spot and getting in over the Jets. But this is a game where I do think the Jets, keep that playoff hope alive here. And I'm on the Jets here.
I like it.
I think Elijah Moore is getting more involved, and I think
Corey
you see
Davis
him
playing?
start. What?
Corey Davis playing?
I don't know. He might be out.
He might be out. So
Quinnen Williams might be out too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
pass rush.
just think I think the Jets are the play here. The Jets.
I mean, if you abide by the buy low, sell high NFL betting method, which a lot of people do, this is probably the highest the Lions will be the entire
that's
season.
Probably true as
So,
well.
Yeah, I don't hate it whatsoever. The Jets,
Like,
defense
everyone is going to love to
top-notch.
take the Lions after beating the, I would say, a little
Vikings.
bit fraudulent Vikings.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so the Jets are just a very solid team overall.
Mhm.
All right. Next, we got the Eagles going to play the Bears. 9-point spread. Alex, what do you got?
Well, I just want to say that this pick is sponsored by Toro Coffee, Chicago blend, Bear Down. If
That's some good coffee.
if you enjoy coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, like most of us are, the only way to go is Toro. So
That's right. Brewed, roasted to order. Can't beat it. Freshest
fresh.
coffee out there.
It's fresh. It's tasty. Try yourself some. Yeah, I wish the Bear Down brew pick was a side of the Bears, but it's not going to be. I'm going to take the under here, another under, 48.5. NFL games with
really high.
spreads of larger than 9 have a very high tendency to go to the under for one of two reasons. Either the team that's getting points is keeping it close in a low scoring game, or the team that is laying points is putting on a shellacking and they park the bus and pump the brakes in the second half. We've seen the Eagles do that to a fair amount of teams this year, put up 30 in the first half and then park the bus in the second. Justin Fields just got back to practice for the first time this week today on Thursday. Chase Claypool has not practiced all week. Obviously, Darnell Mooney is out for the season. The Eagles have shored up their defensive line, which is pretty much the one place that the Bears could have attacked them on offense. I still think Justin Fields anytime touchdown is a bet to take every single week. You will end the season with plus units. But in this instance at 48.5, I know the Eagles can easily lay a 30 spot on this horrendous Bears defense, but I don't see the total getting there. So I'm going to take another under.
All right.
Yeah, that could be a big blowout too, especially because I think one of you sent it in our group chat, but the cornerbacks for the Bears average over 100 passer ratings for opposing QBs. And then you throw someone on an MVP run with AJ Brown and Slim
Devonta.
Shady. Whew.
Yep.
That's not a good matchup.
No,
it's
not.
So Alex kind of just laid it out for me. I'm going to be taking the Eagles -9 here. It's big spread. Kind of gotten burned last couple times, but yeah, with those corners, like the Eagles can win any way possible. Like on
Like the
ground.
Cowboys all over again, like that spread, remember?
I didn't take that spread.
No, they covered against the Bears. I'm saying it's a very similar environment.
Okay. Well, thank you for your input there. I don't really know what it meant, but Philly's
not-
eight.
He's just saying
Philly's
it's a good
8-4.
He's
8-4.
he's trying to sneak in that the Cowboys are better than the Eagles.
No,
Yeah,
I'm saying it's a
yes, you
similar
are.
game environment
You
in
are.
that the Eagles have a very good defense, the Cowboys had a very good defense, and they can crush the
Can I make
Bears.
my pick?
Yes, go.
Thank you. Philly, last 12 games, 8-4 ATS. Chicago, last 6, 1-5 ATS. Yeah, I think there's way too much firepower. Honestly, if Justin Fields is not fully healthy, do not play him in the rest of the season or in this game. Like, let the dude like get healthy. Like that's honestly that's your future right there. I mean, if I was Bears fan, I mean, it's already chalked. Just play for.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. What were you say?
I was going to say, like, we've seen everything we need to see at this point, and now we need to lose more games than the Denver Broncos lose. Like, that is the only I've seen enough out of Justin Fields to feel comfortable saying he's the guy going forward. Let's get the number 2 pick. Let's trade it back for a team that needs a quarterback, and let's build around him.
Exactly. That's all you need to do. So it's not like, I usually don't like picking against, co-host teams unless it's the Saints, but here it's
And why didn't you pick against the Saints, Corey?
It's nothing
Desmond
personal,
Ritter's
Corey.
playing. Yeah. So
Okay. At least you're on the side then.
All right. Go.
All right. Next, we got. No, I was saying I like your pick. I like the Eagles -9. That's what I was trying to say that whole time, Corey.
Well, no. Let me finish
Anyway.
and then add that on to the end.
Okay. We got the Cowboys going to play the Jaguars, 4.5-point favorites. Looks like Alex and Corey again. Or no, all 3 of you guys. Let's start with Nick. Nick, you go.
All right. I'm sure we're all on the same side here, but this one's simple. We're going to save a horse and ride the Cowboys. I think, they had a little wake up last week against the Texans. But, let's not forget who they are against the Jags. If you go back and look, I know PB is all over Trevor Lawrence this year, but anytime the guy plays a good defense, he can't get it done. So we know the Cowboys have one of the best defenses in the league. I expect another letdown spot. Simple as that. I'm not going to overthink this one.
Alex?
I like the over here. First over that I saw on the board. I think this game has shootout potential. Cowboys defense has a couple of key injuries to keep an eye on for this. But, I'm still not sold on Trevor Lawrence, but he has played well these last couple of weeks. And while the Cowboys defense, Nick, you're right, is very, very good. We also have seen them be able to put up points in bunches. So I think the game script is going to go that the Jags are going to have to throw the ball a bunch to keep pace. And I see this game being the shootout of the week. So I'm going to take the over here.
I like it.
Corey?
Yeah, I am taking the Cowboys here. Probably the first time I've been on the Cowboys all year. -4.5. The Jags are not a good team. I don't care what they did to the Titans. The Titans suck. We've all been saying it all year. The Titans are not a good team. Jaguars are not a good team, and they're just gonna get rickrolled over here in Duval, in Clown Town. And like I said, the Jaguars next year will probably be a much better team. It's just they ain't there yet. The Cowboys are getting healthier. The Jaguars, on the other hand, I mean, they're not healthy, but the talent wise is the gap there is too big. Jacksonville 6-14 ATS in the last 20, Dallas in the last 12, 8-4 ATS. And this is going to be the first of my Colts to make the playoffs parlay. I am taking the Cowboys also as the first leg of this money line. So I'll get to the other 2 here in a second, but that's the first leg of that.
I love a good parlay. I'm excited for the rest of that, Corey.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next, we got the Titans going to play the Chargers. 3-point favorites are the Chargers. I'll go ahead and go first. I'm all over Justin Herbert in this spot. Like, this is the best matchup I think he's had all season long when all of his weapons are healthy. He's going to have his best game of the year in this spot. One of Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, you could throw Gerald Everett in there, but one of Keenan Allen or Mike Williams is going to have a massive game. They match up extremely well against the Titans, just in how they like to throw the ball, and the Titans are just, they're so bad against the pass. I do think this could set up for a little bit of a shootout, just because I guess the Chargers, the run
push
defense,
the pace.
well, their run defense isn't the greatest, and obviously Derrick Henry, he's coming off of some down games. He was crazy last week. What was it against the Jaguars? 100 and something yards and a touchdown at half, and I don't think he got like a yard in the second half. It was absolutely wild,
insane. And then
game scripted out.
Yeah,
but a yard, a yard.
Did you see him get trucked too?
Oh yeah, by Josh Allen
on that fumble. Oh my
Josh
God!
Allen.
Yeah,
he just got wrecked.
You don't see Derrick Henry getting hit like that ever. That was
he got truck sticked by him.
Yeah, he did.
But I do think this is a perfect game when we do our DFS, Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, run it back with Derrick Henry, something like that. But I do think ultimately the Chargers get the job done here and cover this 3-point spread.
I really hope the Chargers make the playoffs, man.
They're the more entertaining team over the Jets for sure.
Yeah.
Or the Patriots.
When they're healthy, man, that is a team no one wants to face, as they say.
No, their Chargers are the last team any of these top Chiefs, Bills want to face as the top seed.
Yep.
All right, Nick, what do you got here?
Yeah, same side. It's pretty amazing that all week, the only thing I've heard on sports talk radio all over ESPN is this debate that Justin Herbert would be the number one quarterback drafted in a fantasy draft. Maybe a little extreme because he had a breakout week, but it's pretty great. You mentioned the good receivers, but Josh Palmer it was a sufficient number one, and he's their third receiver going up against the Titans, who just can't cover. So, I think he's going to have another air raid style game and just completely destroy him. So I like the Chargers. They got some good defensive players like Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack that I think can make some noise once they're healthy and stuff. But for now, I think that offense is all they need.
And Corey to wrap.
Yep, this is my lock of the week. I am taking the Chargers here minus the 3.5, or just three. Just three. Sorry. The spread, or sorry, the trends do favor the Tennessee Titans 8-3 in the last 11 ATS. They keep games close, but they are 9-1 ATS in the last 12 against the Chargers. 0-6 ATS in the last 6 when playing on the road in LA. Chargers are getting healthy. You saw what happens to that Chargers offense when they actually have outside weapons and they're not throwing to Palmer, Carter. There's another random guy in there as well.
Michael Bandy.
Michael Bandy. There you go.
Randy Bobandy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Randy Bobandy. That's
it's
who the Chargers are throwing to.
So they are getting healthy at the right time. Other teams are not getting, other teams are dropping like flies. Your players are getting hurt.
Treylon Burks won't be back either.
Is that confirmed? Because I saw he's still kind of questionable here, but
I'm pretty sure he's out.
He's out.
Yeah. So lock of the week, Chargers minus 3.5. A couple units on this. You saw what a bad Jaguars team did to this Titans defense. They get just obliterated through the air. It'll be a fun DFS game to play for sure. And this is the second piece of my Colts to make the playoff parlay. Chargers money line. And since we didn't really get to talk about it, I will also add the Colts onto that money line as well, for the Colts to make the playoffs. They got one out and they need the Titans and Jaguars to keep losing. So that is plus 556 for the Cowboys, Chargers, Colts money line, 25 to win 140 for all my Colts fans.
Pretty good.
All right. Next, we got the Bengals going to play. The red hot Bengals going to play.
Lose you guys?
No,
What?
we can hear you.
I can't hear.
Oh, well, plug something in. All right, we got the Red Hot Bengals going to play the Bucks. The Bucks, I mean, it's not looking too hot for them right now, I'd say. We'll start out here with Alex.
Yeah, you said it. Normally, we were talking about it earlier. Buy low, sell high is generally the rule of thumb in NFL betting. Obviously, teams get overvalued when they're on a hot streak, and other teams that are on a cold streak get devalued by the public market, generally too much in one direction or the other. However, I will continue to ride this Bengals train until it fails me. 19-3 ATS in the last 22. PB, as you said it, that is the definition of a wagon.
Your wagon.
I mean, that is, you are up major units if you bet the last 22 Bengals spreads. So I'm going to take that until the wheels fall off. Bengals -3.5. The hook there does scare me a little bit. This is a game that I would expect the line to be a little bigger. And so the fact that it's sitting right above a field goal, the most important number in NFL betting, it's a little scary, but I think that Joey Burrow's got enough in the tank to propel them to a 4 or more point win.
Yeah, we'll see what he's got this week. Obviously, Chase is going to be the only guy there as a receiver, but Chase is quite the weapon. But Nick, what do you got for us?
Well, if you're calling the Bengals red hot, we're heading to the Red Hot Ranch. Shout out to all my Chicago listeners there. Probably the only ones who know that restaurant, but world famous hot dogs for those who don't know. Bengals are going to be my lock of the week.
Shout out.
It's a story of fire and ice here. We got the hottest team in the NFL with the Bengals and the coldest team in the NFL with the Buccaneers. They're in full collapse mode. Tom Brady's probably regretting everything right now. Probably should have made that move to Miami when he had the chance. So, I think this one's a no-brainer. It doesn't make much sense to me why it's only 3 points. So, not going to overthink
I think it's
this one
because of
either.
Higgins and Boyd being out. That's why I think.
Yeah, but you still have Jamar Chase. Mixon's back healthy. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, DJ Reader, my gosh, that guy just put a smacking on the Browns last week.
Yeah.
He shut down Nick Chubb, who I consider the best running back in the NFL.
The Bengals defense is no joke.
They're legit.
Yeah. So if Tom Brady thinks he's gonna, ride Leonard Fournette's dusty wheels anymore, like it's just not gonna work against DJ Reader. Like that guy put on a Ndamukong Suh in his prime type performance last week. So I'm all over the Bengals. Houday Nation, give me the lock.
All right.
I feel like this is a game that the Bengals slip.
They're not in
Get out of here.
They're not in my picks this week because of that hook and just losing 2 weapons. And the Buck secondary is decent, but
yeah,
I'm not picking
in terms
them.
Of injuries, but these teams are going in opposite directions.
That's really true.
Bucks defense getting Antoine Winfield Jr. back changes a whole lot on that front, especially with a Jamar Chase. But
I think they could be able to put the clamps on Chase.
I don't think the Bucks can put up the points to keep up here. I just don't.
Well, that's one thing, but how many times Brady's missed like a wide open Mike Evans this year? Like the TD regressions, it's gonna come.
Yeah, I would say
he's overthrowing them too. Like you'd expect the 45-year-old to we've seen it countless times, right? In recent history, Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, they just you lose the arm strength. He's overthrowing guys still. It's insane. But you're right, he's missing a lot of makeable passes that he would have hit in the past.
I think that also has to do with a lot of the offensive line, his uncertainty of my blinds, I have to get this ball faster, and he's not being as accurate. So
yeah. I mean, you could point to the offense too, but at the same time, people even coming in midway through this year were like, oh, Bucks run defense, you know, don't play against them, and like they're best in the league. We're seeing guys like Deontay Foreman put up like 150 yards against them. Like they're getting shredded on the ground. That's throwing off their whole defensive strategy. So there's just nothing going right for them.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about it.
Levante David's injury has killed them.
Yeah.
Well, next we got the Giants going to play the Commanders. This game, I would say, more than any other game this week, has the most playoff implications on the NFC side, especially. But like whoever wins and loses this game, that can really be because they tied last time, and one of these teams is like most likely going to make the playoffs as one of those last teams in. And so big game here. So with that being said, Corey, what do you have for us?
This is a very interesting game. Like what you just laid out right there. I like the Giants here on the road plus 4.5.
Oh yeah.
But so Washington is, where is this stat? They're 1-5 ATS when playing at home the last 6 against the Giants. But on the other side, the Giants are, what was the stat? Oh, now I can't find the stat. It lost me. But so like the trends are in the Giants' favor. Both these teams are coming off, big win streaks. Washington, I just don't think Taylor Heineke is that guy. And I think it kind of falls apart here at the end. I don't know. I like what Dable has going and what he had going with the Giants, and they kind of cooled off here in the last couple of games. They're not scoring as many points as they were. They don't really have that many offensive weapons on the outside. I mean, Darius Slayton, is your best receiving option when you have the highest paid wide receiver room in the NFL, which is so crazy to even think about. Like you can only name a couple of the receivers. And they lost, they don't have Shepard. They don't have, Shepard's been out. They have Wendell Robinson. He's out now. So they've lost a lot of key weapons, but they still have Saquon, and Saquon has kind of regressed here, and Washington has one of the better run defenses in the NFL. But I think this is just, a battle of the coaches, and nothing against Ron Rivera. I think he's a good coach. I like Dable more, and I think that, the players play better for Dable than they do play for the Washington Commanders. So give me the Giants here, plus the 4. And I honestly, I think they do win this game. I like a money line as well here.
I love
that pick.
I love it. And
yep.
I actually love the slate in general. There was more picks in this that I didn't get to. Maybe I'll put it on the card at the end, but this was one that didn't make my top 5, but I absolutely love that pick, especially the Giants money line side. All right, last game of the week, Monday Night Football. We got Baker coming off of that win, prime time, just gets thrown in there. He didn't even play the first drive, right?
No.
Yeah, he just gets thrown in there the second drive, barely knows the playbook.
They were saying, go ahead.
That is the most impressive thing I've seen.
Yes.
An NFL player do in a very, very long time.
It's insane.
Yeah, he got it.
Baker Mayfield's amazing.
They were saying,
okay, Nick, go ahead.
They were saying that they were giving the wide receivers literally just numbers. They were run 2, and they were assigning routes to literally a 1 through 10 number because still absolutely unreal. Anyways,
Nick,
go ahead.
Before Nick gives his pick, I just want to say we could find clips from other episodes of the show where Nick is talking about when Baker was on the Panthers and he's taking the opposing side and he's like, well, let's face it, Baker Mayfield's a quarterback. I guarantee there's countless clips of it. So Nick, go ahead with your pick, but my gosh.
You're going to put me on the spot like that after just exposing me?
Yes, I will.
My God.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, that's a dead giveaway. I'm going with the Rams plus 7. That's it. Baker Mayfield. What more do you need? It's just Baker Mayfield. That's That's
Oh
the
my
that's
gosh.
the analysis.
Okay, well, I'll give you some better analysis with the Packers -7. This is going to be like the coldest game the Rams have like played like ever. Like, well, like in the last, I don't know, 30 years.
Baker was born in the cold,
Okay, so that's just one point.
built in it.
Two, Baker folds under pressure, like
Mm.
completely collapses under pressure. Like we're talking like when the defense is bringing pressure, not just like, oh, it's his first start with the Rams coming in and he's pressure. No, I feel like he had no pressure in that game. Like he went out there and he's just like, well, I barely know the playbook. I'm just going to go out and start slinging it. I'm talking about the Packers are going to bring a ton of pressure and he's going to have not much time to pass the ball with his dumpster bin of receivers. And he's going to just, I mean, the Packers are just going to obliterate the Rams this game. They still have a horrible offensive line. The Packers defense still fairly good. I mean, take alternate spreads of the Packers in this spot, like closer to 10, just get it like closer to 10.
Yeah. So what happens when Baker Mayfield wakes up feeling dangerous?
I don't care how he wakes up feeling he's not dangerous. And
Yes, he is.
he's not. And
His
he's
whole
going to
career, he is totally, he embraced Cleveland's mentality so much. Back against the wall, that's when the guy does the best. You put him in
Okay.
there in 3 days' notice to, go and win a game. What did he do? He went and won the game.
All right. Well, this is
Ever since college, he was counted out, stepped in at Oklahoma, Heisman winner. He was people forget he was a play or two away from
fact that
knocking
we have
Patrick
to
Mahomes out of their
make
Super Bowl
more-
run year.
Spend more time
Plays
talking
away.
about
And it was
this.
People forget.
Chad Henne who beat him.
People do.
Why
People
do-
forget.
We should never
People
have
forget.
to speak about this guy in the NFL playing an
Oh,
NFL
we should.
game
I'm going to keep
ever
bringing him
again.
up.
ever again. And this game will just prove like, wow, what are we thinking? Why would we ever think he's good just because that one performance? He is going to just
One
get
performance.
yes,
It was
one
year- he did-
performance
he did-
this year.
He was elite for one season, and the
Okay,
other couple
we're done.
seasons wasn't in the right system.
We can't.
Him and
we can't do
McVay are
this.
going to make magic.
Nick,
I'm
we
calling
can't
it
do
now.
this.
Clip it. We could save it in the
Yeah, clip this,
archives.
please. Clip this. It's gonna
Yo,
be
chat.
McVay and Baker Mayfield is going to be the new Bill and Tom. All right, I'm
please
just
clip
kidding.
this.
All right,
Please
no,
clip this.
you could edit that out. I was just
You
trying to be
did
funny.
hear it here
We're
first.
bleeping it out. We're just gonna put a
you
bleep over
did
it.
hear it first, and we lost all credibility because of that statement.
It was a joke. I'm just kidding. I'm not going that far.
All right, well, that's how we're gonna. I can't believe we have to end this show on Baker Mayfield, but
I
you
love
know,
how mad PB gets. Oh god, it kills me. there's like 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league that just make you so insanely mad, and it
Yes.
cracks me the hell.
no,
up.
it doesn't. The Baker Mayfield doesn't make me mad. It's the fact that people like Nick think that he's so good, and then realize, oh wait, he's not that good, and then one performance, he's right back on the train. He's right back.
Or
Corey
or are
too.
you still holding a
Corey
grudge
too.
because the Rams just destroy your Super Bowl hopes like 5 years ago? You're still
Okay.
holding a grudge.
No, Corey
Baker-
and Nick.
Baker
you'll
for the
see.
win.
And
Not for the count.
yeah, that's it. We have to stop this. This video's over. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.